Hey everyone, I'm Isaac and welcome back to Isaac Reviews 2024. Finally, I'm back to recording videos with my own voice. In case you forgot, I had to use a text-to-speech voice in my previous two videos since I was still recovering from my wisdom teeth surgery, but now I'm healed up enough to record my own videos again. With that being said, let's talk about the Garfield movie. Garfield is one of the most well-known American comic strips out there, having been syndicated since 1978 and still going strong to this day. Naturally, it's to be expected that people might want to see him outside of those four panels, and while there've been a few shows featuring him over the years, the last two times he got the big screen treatment, it didn't go over very well. But now the famous lasagna-loving cat is back on the big screen, this time with a new fully animated feature. Granted, it's not the first time he's been in computer animation either, but the previous time that happened, there was certainly room for improvement. Another thing worth mentioning about this movie is that this is serving as the return of veteran animator and storyboard artist Mark Dindal, whose previous directorial effort was almost 20 years ago with...
Chicken Little.
Back on track now, considering how its source material is already quite simple, I didn't expect too much from the Garfield movie. Maybe some good animation and humor, which I definitely got, but if only the writing could have also been good. It sees Garfield living his usual life of eating lasagna, hating Mondays, and generally being lazy. However, all of that changes when he suddenly reunites with his long-lost father Vic, who left him when he was a kitten and now needs his help in pulling off a heist at a high-tech dairy farm, all while trying to rekindle their bond that was broken all those years ago. I certainly wasn't going into this expecting some masterfully written, thought-provoking experience, but I feel like the biggest problem here is that the writing is pretty weak, even for Garfield standards. For one, John is barely even in this movie, which is already a major disappointment, but it also feels like it's having trouble sustaining a cohesive narrative, with bad pacing and the essence of what made the original comics so memorable feeling mostly sidelined. Sure, it had some good jokes here and there, the voice acting was pretty good, I'll even admit that Chris Pratt was better than I was expecting as the Orange Cat, and there were a few really good scenes here and there, such as Garfield's origin story and the tragic backstory of Otto, the bull who helps the team with their heist, but overall, this is a screenplay that leaves a lot to be desired. But while the writing can be as lazy as Garfield himself, I found the movie overall to be a fun watch, and that aspect definitely shines in the animation. On that note, considering how this is from Columbia Pictures, I'm surprised that Sony Pictures Animation didn't have any involvement in this. You'd think Sony would want their animation branch to have at least one movie to coincide with Columbia's 100th anniversary, but I guess that was not the case. Back to the animation, it does a great job capturing the look of the original comics, even if some of the character designs do look a bit off, with some energetic character movements and striking visual comedy with a strong use of squash and stretch. The humor in general is another area where the Garfield movie shines, both in terms of the slapstick and the witty dialogue from the characters. And like I mentioned earlier, the voice acting was great across the board. Beyond how I actually kinda got used to Chris Pratt being Garfield, Samuel L. Jackson was a lot of fun as his dad Vic, Hannah Waddingham was delightfully devious as the villain Jinx, and Brett Goldstein and Bowen Yang had an enjoyable dynamic as Jinx's henchmen. I can't think of a whole lot else I need to say about the Garfield movie, but I will say that even if the critical reception so far has been underwhelming, I thought the film was okay. Not great, as the writing and pacing were pretty bad, but the animation, humor, voice acting, and character dynamics were able to make up for its problems and provide a decent enough watch, especially for fans of the source material. 7 out of 10, best Garfield movie I've ever seen. Next time, I'll be talking about Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. Now, I recently watched Fury Road in preparation for this movie, and it was a masterpiece to be sure. So while I'm not sure this will be on the same caliber as that, I still have a feeling I'm gonna have a blast watching it. Anyways, thanks for watching this episode of Isaac Reviews 2024, subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll see you all next time.